I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of Silver City on Tuesday, May 3rd. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And Commissioner Peralt, would you do the honors? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Could we have the roll call, please?
Commission Chair Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Clements.
Here.
Commissioner Coast.
Present.
Commissioner Lundy.
Here.
Commissioner Peralt.
Here.
And Commissioner Seibel.
I note that quorum is present. Mr. Russell, I believe you have an introduction to make this evening.
Yes, ma'am. You see a new face sitting at the table beside us. This is Jim Coates. He has been hired to be a planner in the Community Development Office, and he will have specific responsibility for zoning administration. So he's sort of in training with Luann, who's the current zoning administrator.
Excellent. Welcome, Mr. Coates. We're delighted to have you join the department, and glad to know that our colleagues in the department are getting some much-needed help with their workload. That's great. Okay, the first order of business is the approval of the agenda for this evening. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at it? If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The agenda is approved. Now we need to move to the approval of the minutes for the April 5th, 2011 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at those? Anybody have any comments, corrections, additions? If not, could somebody please move the approval of the minutes for April 5th?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The minutes are approved. And now we have a very special moment in our meeting. We'd like to recognize one of our members of the commission who is now retired. Lorianne Bencomo, could you step forward, please? We would like to give you a plaque in appreciation for your years of service on the commission. We thank you very much. You were an excellent commissioner, and we miss you.
Yes, thank you. I miss you guys too. But it's also good. Look at all the
we have
people,
great blood, that's for sure.
crew that are here. So that's excellent. When I had first started, I was just a person in the community. I didn't know anything about it, and I thought it sure would be interesting. And it was. Sometimes it was a lot of fun. Sometimes it was highly challenging. But I appreciated the opportunity, and I also sure appreciate all of the people that I served with, and for the individuals who work in the planning department, all of them. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lori.
But no more, right? Yeah, but no more. But everybody says no more.
I'm sorry. Did I say it wrong, too? This one.
She's okay.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is old business, and there is none listed. Does anybody have any old business that we forgot to mention? The next item on the agenda is a public hearing, ZC 11-02, a zone change request for property located at 413 South Texas Street from commercial to historic downtown commercial. And the applicant on this matter is Kirsten Laney. The commission will serve as a hearing board on this matter, and I, as chairperson, will be the presiding officer. The case involves an application for a zoning change. Have any members of this hearing board had any ex parte discussions with any person regarding the subject matter of this hearing, or had any communications from any party to this case? There being none, the next order of business is to swear in anyone who would like to testify in this zoning change hearing. You don't have to, if you intend to speak, you need to be sworn in. So please step forward at this time and say after me. I state your full name.
I, Lynn Mitchell,
Do solemnly swear that the testimony
do solemnly swear that the testimony
that I'm about to give
that I'm about to give
will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
will be
will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
on penalty of perjury.
on penalty of perjury.
Thank you. Could you give your name, please, to Luann, and she'll...
I've got it.
Oh, she's already got it. She's on top of it. Okay. In the matter of a zoning change, this hearing board must have, the applicant has the burden of proof for one of 7 findings. Have you been fully informed about your obligation to present testimony that indicates at least one of the 7 findings that we must consider?
Lynn gave me all the printed material in the office, so
Okay.
I
Okay.
read it all. Yeah.
Excellent.
Sorry.
Good. That's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll make this go as fast as I can. The Planning and Zoning Commission will make a finding in this case and pass on that recommendation to the Town Council, which will make the final decision. Okay. If the applicant, well, let's see. We need the staff report first. Staff, would you please tell us what we're about to consider?
This is a request for a map zone change from commercial to historic downtown commercial. The location is 413 South Texas Street, Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico. The applicant is Kirsten Hardenbrook Laney, the owner. The applicant is owner of property located at 413 South Texas Street. The property encompasses lots 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and parts of lots 4, 6, and 8 of Block 9 of the Fraser Edition. The property is located on Texas Street between Sonora and Gila Streets and is part of the Chihuahua Hill Historic District. The block is currently zoned commercial, a zone intended to accommodate a mix of commercial uses. It is a narrow strip of commercial zoning bounded on the east by an industrial zone and on the west by residential B. However, the neighborhood actually consists of mostly residential uses. With the adoption of the new Land Use and Zoning Code of 2010, a new zoning designation was created, the Historic Downtown Commercial District, or CHD. This classification is intended to accommodate a mix of commercial uses, mixed-use buildings, and residential buildings in the historic central business core. It is likely that this block will be included in the new zoning designation when the new maps are drawn. Excuse me. The main reason for this zone change request is that even though zoned commercial, the actual use of the property is residential. There are 3 residential buildings on the property, and the surrounding buildings in the neighborhood are all residential use. One hardship for property owners in this situation is that residential uses are considered non-conforming in a commercial zone. Non-conforming uses have a number of restrictions, including the inability to expand, extend, or enlarge structures by more than 25%. The new zone designation will eliminate those restrictions. After departmental review of the application, utilities, fire, police, engineering, meters, public works, and code enforcement departments had no comments. The applicant contacted 31 property owners in the surrounding neighborhood by letter. She received no objections to the request. The Community Development Department also contacted 31 neighboring property owners and received no responses until yesterday. Well, I guess she came in a couple of days when I wasn't there, but Vallejos, who is a neighbor, came in. She just wanted to clarify that she didn't have to do anything with her property, that she wasn't required to rezone herself. The Planning and Zoning Commission will apply and make relevant at minimum one of the following findings to the request at hand. The proposed amendment is in substantial compliance or not in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan, or it will adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment is justified in order to correct a mistake in the town's comprehensive plan, an error in the assumptions about the property, surrounding uses, population forecasts, rate of land consumption, or other factors. The proposed amendment will not adversely impact the public health, safety, or general welfare, and will promote the original purposes of the Land Use Code, or it will adversely impact the public health, safety, or general welfare, and will not promote the original purposes of the Land Use Code. The proposed amendment responds to changed conditions, such as changes in assumptions on capital investments, road locations, population trends, land committed to development, density, use or further studies that have been completed since adoption of the Land Use Code, or does not respond to changed conditions. The proposed amendment is necessary in order to respond to state and or federal legislation. And finally, the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of this Land Use Code without lowering the standards of the Land Use Code. And the Community Development Department recommends approval of this map amendment zone change.
Okay, Mr. Russell, do we have some slides? Can you kind of point out where this property is located and the zoning districts around it?
Just about where that arrow is.
The arrow, which I will move, shows you the approximate location of the property. So this is, let's see here, Bullard Street is, or Broadway rather, is in here. Bullard is here. This is a little bit south of Broadway, about 3 or 4 blocks south of Broadway. It's a little bit, I guess Bullard doesn't actually, the right-of-way exists on the east side, but it's not actually constructed. So it's in this area.
Do any commissioners have questions for staff?
I have a question. What is Connie Vallejo's property zone?
It's also zone commercial.
Did she seem like she would be object to future rezoning?
No, not at all. She just wanted to be sure she didn't have to do anything by tonight.
Any other questions for staff? Then it would be easier for you to testify from where you are sitting. I think it'll be fine.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Russell.
So, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to say.
Why do you want the zone change?
Okay. Well, I wanted, because it came to my attention that having its own commercial limited me as a residence owner in a number of ways. Most notably, I heard from somebody that if my house would burn down, that it would be difficult to have it rebuilt residential. Also, and that's a concern. Also, if I sell my house, a buyer would be subject to paying a commercial rate on their loan rather than a residential rate. And there's just a number of reasons that don't make any sense, seeing as how it's an old house that has always been residential and it's surrounded by other residences, and there's no feasibility to have a business there because of the location and the access, and it's a very private location, and it's not possible for people to come there for any kind of business reasons. There's no parking. I mean, it's silly. So once I realized that, I just wanted to have it changed.
And was it also mentioned to you that under the new land use code, the zoning would be probably changed to this mixed-use zoning?
Honestly, I don't remember if that was ever mentioned. I don't recall it being mentioned, but the issue came to a head for me because I decided to sell my property, and the appraiser noted that the buyer, potential buyer, might have problems getting a loan because of it, and so even if it were to be changed later, it affects me now.
Well, because of that pending land use code change and rezoning that would have come from it, it's probable that the zoning change that you're requesting is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. Would you say that that is true and part of your testimony?
I guess it is, yes. I mean,
Yes, Mr. Russell.
Yes, I think that would be the case. I wish to point out that these houses were built substantially long before there was a zoning code at all. And the zoning code used to allow residential uses and commercial uses. That changed about 12 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago. The intent here with this rezoning is to bring the property back into compliance with the original purpose of the construction, and also into substantial compliance with the generally mixed-use occupancies in that whole downtown area.
That being so, then the proposed zoning change won't adversely impact on the public health, safety, or general welfare.
It's our opinion it will not, and no one has raised a concern that it might.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Do any commissioners have questions for our applicants? Hi. Is this another witness you'd like to present? I don't think she was sworn in.
I think she'd like to present herself.
Yeah. No questions? Then is the applicant's case concluded? Are you all done?
I'm satisfied.
Very good. Thank you very much. Since we had no witnesses sworn in opposition, I think I'd like to ask the commissioners if they're ready to act on this matter.
I am.
Okay. Would someone please make a motion? And we'll let this little girl get home to bed.
I move that we approve zoning change 11-02, the request for a map amendment zone change from commercial to historic downtown commercial. This concerns properties located at 413 South Texas Street, encompassing lots 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 10, 12, 13, 14, and parts of lot 4, 6, and 8 of Block 9 of the Fraser Addition. As a part of my motion, I see that this is in compliance with two findings. Finding number 2, that this amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the Town Comprehensive Plan. And finding number 4, the proposed amendment will not adversely impact the public health, safety, or general welfare, and will promote the original purposes of the Land Use Code. And furthermore, that there be no conditions attached to this motion.
Is there a second? I'll second. Thank you. Is there any discussion of this motion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. We will send this recommendation on to the Town Council, who will act on it at a future meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming. Okay. The next item on our agenda is new business, but we don't have any tonight, so we're going to move right into our community forum. And I would like to thank the ladies and gentlemen from the, looks like the Forest Service and from Whiskey Creek Fire Department for coming to make a presentation to us on fire safety, a very important topic in our community right now. So would you like to come forward and let us hear what you have to say? If you would speak from the podium, please. I think it'll be easier for our television listeners to hear you.
Madam Chair, I just have one comment that there will be someone here from the Town of Silver City Fire Department as well. He's just not here yet.
Okay, very good. Well, we will let him go next.
Well, good evening. My name is Gabriel Partido. I'm acting fire and aviation and vegetation staff officer for the Gila National Forest. With me tonight are Ellen Brown, our fire prevention officer, and Gabe Olguin, our fire management officer for the Gila National Forest. We received a list from the committee of a number of questions. So what we'd like to do you have a preference on what order those questions are addressed?
Not at all. You just make your presentation however you think it best.
Well, I'll go ahead and start, and then I'll finish it up. And if you have any clarifications or questions, please let me know. So the first question that I received was, what is the current fire risk in and around Silver City, and which areas are most vulnerable? Well, the Gila National Forest doesn't collect fields information on non-forest system lands. However, based on information that we have collected that are in similar elevation and have similar vegetation, the risk for larger and more intense fires are higher due to the dry fuel caused by a long period of drought. The next question we have is which homeowners need to take precautions creating a defensive perimeter around their homes? Well, the Gila doesn't do individual, very rarely do we do individual homes or specific areas and do an assessment on that. We'll do that on a case-by-case basis when there's a direct threat to National Forest System lands. When hazards are found, we work with the state and county officials to ensure they're aware of the hazards and that the hazards are mitigated. Some examples of this include what we called the Pinos Altos Wildland Urban Interface Project area. And it's a larger area, and it encompasses the town, the national forest land that surrounds Pinos Altos. It also includes areas of national forests that surround the Thile, Wagon Wheel, and Dos Griegos and Little Walnut Village areas. And as far as precautions, we at the Forest Service recommend all home property and property owners take precautions such as creating defensible space around their homes and property. And we especially encourage homes that have or are adjacent to areas that have high concentration of fuels to take actions. And high concentration of fuels is like high grass, large amounts of brush, or adjacent to or in large densely populated with trees. Ms. Brown will go into, the next question was what specific steps should they take? Ms. Brown will go into some more detail in the other questions. We kind of broke them in half, and I'm answering the first 6. And then the next question that I was asked was, what lessons have we learned from the Quail Ridge fire? Well, the Quail Ridge fire showed firefighters from the U.S. Forest Service that our fields are very dry, and when we respond to wildland fires, everyone should be ready and expect more intense fire behavior. And some examples of this intense fire behavior would be longer flame lengths, faster rates of spread, longer burning periods, fires will be burning longer. In regards to the forest, we expect to see a continued and drying and more severe conditions in the near future through May and the beginning of June. And these trends translate to our firefighters to be extremely cautious and adhere to our standard fire orders and follow our watch-out situations when we respond to fires. The next question that I was asked was, how adequate are local resources to meet fire danger in our area this year? On the forest, we have the resources to respond and manage fires that occur on our National Forest System lands, and we'll order additional resources as needed. Now, the ability to secure those resources it'll depend upon the national and regional priorities. If we're burning along with Texas and Arizona and Colorado, there's a competition for those resources, but they'll do their best to meet our needs. And we'll defer to Grant County Fire Management Officer and the Town of Silver City fire officials on how to answer if they're ready within lands in their jurisdiction. And then the next question that I was asked was, what's the town's and county's policy on the use of fireworks this year? And we'll defer that to the county and town officials, but as always, fireworks are prohibited on national forest lands.
Could you give us an update of the fire that's burning in Gila?
Okay, you want to take that one, Gabe? Or?
Sure. Yeah, that fire is currently about 10,000 acres, burning. It's probably about 10 miles south of the cliff dwellings and about 6 to 7 miles west of Highway 15. Currently, we have some actions that we're taking down by the cliff dwellings, basically some looking at trails and opportunities to do structure protection down there in the event. And what it is contingency planning. There's no immediate threat to the cliff dwellings or any of that area in there by the Gila Hot Springs. But what we're doing is planning for the worst possible scenario. And so what we've done is we have a crew that's doing some work in there, and what they're doing is just clearing out trail in the event that they have to do a back burn in there. So,
what is burning? Is it trees or is it brush and grasslands?
It's mostly grass and the timber litter that's on the floor. The fire is currently burning towards an old burn in there from 2003, the Dry Lakes fire. A lot of folks around here probably remember that one. Very large fire in the Gila wilderness, and so when the Miller fire that's currently burning, when it runs into that old burn, changes the fire behavior, and actually what it's doing is burning up some of the logs that were created from that old fire. And it basically just burning through the grass and cleaning up some of that timber litter that's on the ground in there. So it's actually doing some really positive things right now. But we are aware, based on where we're at in fire season and our indices continue to climb. So we're looking for opportunities to minimize the spread of it. But where it's burning is really rugged terrain, and based on safety, it's hard to justify putting firefighters in the way of that fire. So,
Was this a prescribed fire?
No, absolutely not. It was the cause is under investigation, but we haven't had lightning at all this spring, so we are definitely considering it human caused. So, probably a campfire or something like that. So. But
Isn't there a historic cabin that's threatened by that fire?
There was a cabin close to where the fire started, the Miller Springs cabin, and it's a game and fish department cabin. But that was one of our first priorities when we were able to get people in there, was to provide some protection for that cabin. So we did build some hand line around it, and we ended up having to do a small burnout around the cabin. So.
You saved the cabin, though.
We did save the cabin.
That's great.
Absolutely. So,
thank you.
Yeah, we had some issues early on with the high winds because we had that cold front passing. And so we did make every attempt to get people on the ground. We had smoke jumpers that flew it the night that it was detected, and they had no luck getting in there. It was way too windy. And they tried again in the morning, and still too windy. So we were able to get like 8 people on the ground with the helicopter, but then the wind picked up again, and even the helicopters couldn't fly. So,
wow.
So,
thank you.
That's the update.
Stay safe out there.
Thanks.
Okay, it's my turn. First off, thank you so much for having us here. It's an important topic for us. I'm going to share these. They're a very, very good publication that has a wealth of information in it.
Where can people at home obtain a copy of this really terrific?
A downloadable version can be found at www.nmfireinfo.com. It'll also be on the very back of that particular magazine. Also on that website, you can get predictive services and find out what